Given the unprecedented millions of Biden illegal aliens who are invading our country, it is only common sense that when I'm reelected, we will begin, and we have no choice, the largest deportation operation in American history. We have no choice. On my first day back in the White House, I will terminate every open borders policy of the Biden administration. And I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act to remove all known or suspected gang members, drug dealers, or cartel members from the United States, ending the scourge of illegal alien gang violence once and for all. Joe Biden and the Democrat Party are incapable of solving any problem. There's not a problem they've been able to solve. Crooked Joe is you know this, did you ever hear this? Crooked Joe is a low IQ individual. And he is truly the worst, most incompetent, and most corrupt president in the history of our country. In fact, Jimmy Carter is very happy because he looks like that was a brilliant administration by comparison to what you have right now.
Like we did in Florida, we'll win a big, strong victory, not just for me. So on day one, we're going to be pretty busy on day one because there's a lot that we need to do. One, we're going to declare the border to be a national emergency. We're going to mobilize resources. We're going to mobilize resources to stop the invasion. We're going to change policy so that people are deported when they come illegally. We're not going to let people come in and make bogus asylum claims. We are going to build the border wall, but the way you do that and to get, quote, Mexico to pay for it is you impose fees on remittances that people send to foreign countries. A lot of people send money back to Mexico, Central America. You raise billions of dollars a year, plow that right into construction of the wall. We're also going to open up all the domestic energy for production. We have massive deposits, Marcellus Shale, Permian Basin, federal lands, and so we'll open that up, lower gas prices, lower energy costs, and actually make our country more secure against foreign adversaries. We should never have to go hat in hand to Venezuela or Saudi Arabia for energy. We're going to have thousands of people ready who will be appointees to send to the Senate for confirmation so that they can get in immediately and not have the bureaucrats run the show. We're also going to have been working with Congress to the key senators and congressmen to know about the legislative vehicles that we're going to do for all the legislative stuff, including what you're going to do in the Senate through budget reconciliation, which is 50 votes. And so you got to have all that mapped out and then just press. But there's only your first 150 days is really a high water mark where you've got to really deliver. I'm going to have to strengthen our military, and part of that means more firepower in terms of like naval power, all this other stuff, but it also means fixing the culture of the military. You can't win if you have a woke military, if they're focusing on social agenda or politics. We also eliminated gender ideology. Telling a kindergartner they can change their gender or were born in the wrong body is wrong. And when that came up, I have a first grader, kindergartner, and a preschooler right now. At the time that issue came up, this was, I guess they were in, it was kindergarten, pre-K, and then not even in school. So as a parent, I was very sensitive. And I think as I would have been sensitive anyways, because it's just difference between right and wrong. But I'm thinking to myself, I look at my kids, I'm like, how could you possibly want to have someone tell a kindergartner that they can just change their gender? It's totally inappropriate. Thank you.
This was the endorsement that everybody I mean, it's huge. You know, first to have the endorsement of the largest conservative, freedom-loving grassroots organization in the country with Americans for Prosperity, and then go get the endorsement of the Live Free or Die governor. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Well, look, no one in New Hampshire is going to vote for Nikki Haley just because the governor says so, right? You earn it. I think we've been pretty successful in knowing how to earn it, how to engage with constituencies, what's important, not just what the voters want to hear, but how they want to ask the questions. And most importantly, how they're going to earn the trust. We want to know that as individuals, we come first, and that's exactly what Nikki's bringing to the table.
You know, I agree with a lot of Trump's policies. I think he was the right president at the right time. But looking at the situation now, our country's in disarray, the world is on fire, and chaos follows him. And we can't have a country in chaos for 4 more years or we won't survive it. Nobody wants that chaos again. That's what we're trying to get past. My approach is different. No drama, no vendettas, no whining.
I mean, he's running on retribution. He wants to go out and he talks about annihilating his enemies.
You guys are exhausting. You're exhausting in your obsession with him. The thing is, the normal people aren't obsessed with Trump like you guys are. The normal people care about the fact that they can't afford things. They feel like their freedoms are being taken away. They think government's too big. I know y'all want to talk about every single word he says and every single tweet he does. That's exactly why we need a new generational leader. Because people don't want to hear about every word a person says or every tweet. They want to know how you fought for them that day. And they want to know how their life is going to be different. And life would be a whole lot different if the media would stop this obsession with Trump.
Do you disagree with that decision by the Texas Supreme Court?
Well, I think it is the right thing that unelected justices no longer decide this, and it's in the hands of the people. I appreciate that Texas went more on the pro-life side. But as we go through this, listen, my heart broke for her because I had trouble having my children. The states are now going to have to look at these because what we don't want to see is a woman with a rare condition having to carry a baby until term.
So it was the right decision by the court?
Well, the court had to follow the law. The law said that she couldn't have the abortion. Now it's up to the legislature in Texas to say, how do we make sure there are no more Kates that go through that? That's what you look at. As a governor, you don't just say this is golden. As a governor, when something happens that churns your stomach, that says that's not what this was intended to be, you go back and say, okay, what do we do to make sure that we are saving as many babies as possible, but also supporting as many moms as possible. It's not as cut and dry as everybody wants, but states will self-correct to this. That's what they do.
But I think it's in the law, right? The problem is in the law, the problem is not the court.
And I think you got to ask yourself, why am I the only candidate in this race who can say certain things? That January 6th was the product of entrapment, that our money is being sent to persecute Christians from Ukraine to Armenia, something you're not supposed to talk about, to the fact that the climate change agenda is a hoax because it has nothing to do with the climate and everything to do with China. That it looks not just like an intelligence failure, but an intentional intelligence failure. And I believe that we will release that for the entire public to see. And I will also make this commitment. Most presidents wait until their last day in office to issue their pardons because they don't want the accountability for it. On day one, January 20th, 2025, every peaceful protester that day will receive a pardon. That is justice in this country. USA! 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 Damn right it is. USA first.